What's their secret? Why do some people rise to the top while others stay stuck in the same place? Let's break it down. Well, it's not just luck. It's their attitude. The way they think, the way they approach challenges, and the habits they build all play a huge role in their success. In this video, I'll reveal 7 powerful attitudes that set high achievers apart from 97% of people. These are the mindsets that drive success, push past obstacles, and create unstoppable momentum. Master these, and you'll unlock a whole new level of success. Make sure to watch until the end. 6 and 7 are the real game changers. Let's dive in. 1. Extreme ownership. Extreme ownership is the mindset of taking full, unwavering responsibility for everything in your life. Your successes, your failures, your mistakes, and even situations that may seem outside of your control. It means never blaming others, external circumstances, or bad luck. Instead of saying, "This happened because of my boss, the economy, or bad timing," people who practice extreme ownership ask themselves, "How did my actions contribute to this outcome? And what can I do to change it?" This shift in thinking is what separates high achievers from the majority. The truth is, 97% of people don't adopt this mindset because it's easier, much easier, to point fingers. When something goes wrong, most people instinctively look for something or someone to blame. It's a defense mechanism that protects their ego and avoids discomfort. If they fail at a project, they blame their team. If they don't get a promotion, they blame office politics. If they're struggling financially, they blame the economy. But here's the catch. Blame gives away your power. When you blame external factors, you're essentially saying, "I have no control over this." And that mindset keeps people stuck in mediocrity. On the other hand, successful people, especially top entrepreneurs, CEOs, and industry leaders, take full ownership of everything in their sphere of influence. Take Jeff Bezos, for example. When Amazon Web Services suffered a massive outage, he didn't make excuses or blame engineers. He took ownership, fixed the issue, and used it as a learning opportunity to build a more robust system. In contrast, struggling entrepreneurs often blame market conditions, competitors, or algorithms instead of figuring out how to adapt and improve. So how can you develop extreme ownership? Start with this actionable tip. Whenever you face a setback or a challenge, ask yourself, "What can I do to fix this?" Or, "What could I have done differently?" Instead of thinking about who or what is responsible, focus on what you can change. This could mean improving your skills, working harder, refining your strategy, or even shifting your mindset. The more you take responsibility, the more control you have over your future. And that's exactly what separates high achievers from everyone else. 2. Relentless optimism. Relentless optimism is not just about thinking positively. It's about seeing opportunity where others see problems. It's about refusing to be discouraged by setbacks, and instead using them as stepping stones towards success. While most people get stuck in negative thought patterns when they face obstacles, high achievers train themselves to reframe failures as valuable lessons and focus on the long game. Why do 97% of people fail at this? Because setbacks feel like personal attacks. Most people take failure as a sign that they're not good enough, or that success just isn't meant for them. Instead of pushing forward, they get discouraged, lose motivation, and give up too soon. They think, "This didn't work, so I guess it's not meant to be," instead of asking, "What can I learn from this and how can I adjust?" This is why so many businesses fail, why people quit on their dreams, and why most people never reach their full potential. A perfect example of relentless optimism in action is Elon Musk. When Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy in 2008, most people would have accepted defeat. But Musk refused to give up. Instead of seeing failure, he saw an opportunity to learn, pivot, and push harder. He reinvested his own money, rallied his team, and kept pushing forward despite overwhelming odds. Today, Tesla is a multi-billion-dollar company, all because of Musk's refusal to let setbacks define the future. The average person in the same situation would have walked away, blaming market conditions or bad timing. So how can you develop relentless optimism? Use this actionable tip. Whenever you experience failure, immediately reframe it as a lesson. Instead of saying, "This was a waste of time," ask yourself, "What did I learn that will help me succeed next time?" Start seeing every obstacle as feedback, not failure. This one simple shift will make you more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately, unstoppable. Both extreme ownership and relentless optimism are fundamental attitudes that separate high achievers from the rest. Most people get stuck blaming circumstances or giving up at the first sign of failure. But if you start taking full ownership of your life and train yourself to see setbacks as lessons, you'll already be ahead of 97% of people. And the best part? These are skills you can develop starting right now. 3. Unshakable self-discipline. Unshakable self-discipline is the ability to do what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. It's about pushing forward when the excitement wears off, when distractions tempt you, and when your mind tries to convince you to take the easy route. This is the backbone of success, because talent, intelligence, and even luck mean nothing without consistency. High achievers don't just work when they feel motivated. They work because they've built a system that makes success inevitable. The reason 97% of people struggle with self-discipline is that they rely too much on motivation, which is fleeting. Motivation feels great in the beginning, but it's unreliable. Think about how many people start a New Year's resolution, hit the gym hard for 2 weeks, and then quit. Why? Because they relied on motivation instead of discipline. The difference is that motivation is emotional. It comes and goes, whereas discipline is a habit. The most successful people in the world, from elite athletes to billionaire entrepreneurs, understand this. They don't wait to feel like working out, writing, or building their business. They do it because it's part of their system, whether they're in the mood or not. Take professional athletes as an example. Do you think LeBron James or Cristiano Ronaldo feels like training every single day? Probably not, but they do it because they've built a non-negotiable system. The same goes for ultra-successful business owners, people like Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and Tim Cook. Their daily routines are structured around consistent productive habits, not just bursts of motivation. So how can you develop unshakable self-discipline? The key is to set non-negotiable daily habits. This means committing to actions that must happen every single day, regardless of how you feel. For example, instead of saying, "I'll work out when I have time," commit to, "I work out at 6 a.m. every day, no excuses." Instead of, "I'll write when I feel inspired," commit to, "I write 500 words every single morning." This removes decision fatigue and turns success into a process rather than a hope. Discipline is built, not found. And the more you strengthen it, the more unstoppable you become. The ability to delay gratification. The ability to delay gratification is one of the most powerful success traits there is. It's the mindset of choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. It's the reason why some people build wealth while others stay broke, why some people get in shape while others stay stuck, and why some people achieve greatness while others waste years waiting for the right time. Why do 97% of people struggle with this? Because we live in a world that prioritizes instant gratification. Social media, binge watching, junk food, impulsive spending, everything around us is designed to give us quick dopamine hits, making it harder to focus on long-term goals. Most people sacrifice their future for short-term comfort. They choose to scroll on their phones instead of learning a new skill. They choose to spend money they don't have instead of investing in their future. They choose temporary pleasure over permanent growth. One of the most famous studies on delayed gratification is the Stanford marshmallow experiment. In this study, young children were given a marshmallow and told that if they waited 15 minutes without eating it, they would receive 2 marshmallows instead of 1. Some kids couldn't resist and ate the marshmallow immediately. Others managed to wait, choosing the bigger reward later rather than the smaller one now. Decades later, researchers found that the kids who successfully delayed gratification achieved significantly higher success in life, better academic results, better careers, and even healthier relationships. The ability to delay gratification was a strong predictor of future success. So how can you develop the ability to delay gratification? Start small. Practice tiny acts of self-control daily. Instead of grabbing your phone the moment you wake up, wait 30 minutes. Instead of eating junk food, cook a healthy meal. Instead of spending money on unnecessary things, put it into savings or investments. The more you train your brain to choose long-term rewards over short-term pleasure, the more disciplined and successful you become. In the end, your future is built by the choices you make today. Most people are ruled by impulse, but if you can master the art of patience, self-control, and long-term thinking, you'll separate yourself from the majority and put yourself in the top 3% of high achievers. 5. Growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your intelligence, skills, and abilities are not fixed. They can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. This is a fundamental trait of high achievers. They don't see themselves as naturally talented or born successful. They understand that mastery comes from deliberate practice, failures, and continuous learning. Why do 97% of people stay stuck? Because they have a fixed mindset, the belief that their abilities are predetermined and unchangeable. You hear this all the time. I'm just not good at math. I'm not a natural leader. I'll never be able to start a business. This kind of thinking is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When people believe they can't improve, they don't even try. And because they don't try, they never improve. The reality is that your brain is like a muscle. The more you challenge it, the stronger it gets. Take Michael Jordan as a perfect example. Many people consider him the greatest basketball player of all time. But what most don't know is that he was actually cut from his high school basketball team. At that moment, he could have developed a fixed mindset and told himself, I'm just not good enough. Instead, he used it as fuel. He practiced harder than ever, spent hours refining his skills, and developed the legendary work ethic that made him an icon. He wasn't born the greatest. He became the greatest through a growth mindset. So how can you develop a growth mindset? Here's a simple but powerful actionable tip. Whenever you find yourself saying, I can't, add the word yet at the end. Instead of I can't start a business, say I can't start a business yet. Instead of I'm not good at public speaking, say I'm not good at public speaking yet. This one small shift rewires your brain to believe in possibility rather than limitation. The most successful people in the world weren't born with special skills. They developed them through effort, learning, and resilience. And so can you. 6. Taking calculated risks. Taking calculated risks means making bold moves with a strategic mindset. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone, but not blindly. High achievers don't just take reckless chances. They weigh the potential rewards, assess the downsides, and make smart, informed decisions that push them toward success. Why do 97% of people avoid this? Because of fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment. The majority of people play life way too safe. They stick to the familiar, avoid challenges, and let opportunities slip away because they're too scared of what might go wrong. They think, what if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if it doesn't work? But the problem is, avoiding risk is actually the biggest risk of all. When you refuse to take chances, you stay stuck in the same place while the world moves forward. Look at successful investors versus people who never build wealth. The wealthy don't gamble recklessly, but they also don't let fear paralyze them. They invest strategically, understanding that calculated risks lead to long-term gains. Meanwhile, the average person is too scared to invest, keeps their money in a low-interest savings account, and wonders why they never build financial freedom. A great example is Jeff Bezos. When he started Amazon, he took a massive risk, leaving a stable, well-paying job to sell books online when e-commerce was still in its infancy. But this wasn't a blind leap of faith. It was a calculated risk. He analyzed market trends, understood the potential of the internet, and built a plan. Today, Amazon is worth over $1 trillion, all because he was willing to take a strategic risk while others played it safe. So how can you become better at taking calculated risks? Here's a powerful, actionable tip. Whenever you're faced with a big decision, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Can I handle that? Most of the time, you'll realize that the worst-case scenario isn't as bad as your fear makes it seem. If the worst outcome is something you can recover from, then the risk is worth taking. This is how high achievers make bold moves, while others stay stuck in fear. Life rewards those who take smart, strategic action. If you never push beyond your comfort zone, you'll never experience real growth. Taking calculated risks is not about being reckless. It's about having the courage to pursue bigger opportunities while preparing for potential downsides. And once you start applying this mindset, you'll be shocked at how many doors open for you. Success belongs to those who are willing to go after it. 7. Resilience and adaptability. Resilience and adaptability are what separate those who succeed from those who quit. Life is unpredictable. Setbacks, failures, and unexpected obstacles are inevitable. But here's the difference. High achievers don't crumble when things go wrong. They use failure as a stepping stone, bounce back stronger, and adapt to new challenges. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, they ask, how can I learn from this and improve? Why do 97% of people struggle with resilience? Because most people are conditioned to see failure as the end rather than a lesson. They hit one roadblock and assume it's a sign that they should quit. They start a business, face a few losses, and decide it's not for them. They go to the gym for a few weeks, don't see instant results, and give up. They experience rejection and take it personally, rather than seeing it as part of the process. The truth is built on failures, but only if you learn from them. Look at some of the most successful people in history. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job because she was told she wasn't fit for television. Instead of letting that define her, she pushed forward, refined her skills, and became one of the most influential media moguls in the world. Steve Jobs was actually kicked out of Apple, the company he founded. But instead of giving up, he used that failure as a learning experience, started a new company, which Apple later acquired, and returned stronger than ever, leading Apple to become one of the most valuable companies in history. If these people had let failure break them, the world wouldn't even know their names today. So how can you build resilience and adaptability? Here's a powerful, actionable tip. View failure as feedback, not final. When something doesn't work out, instead of thinking, I failed, reframe it as, I learned something valuable. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? How can I adjust and try again? What's the next best move? The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who never fail. It's the ones who fail, learn, adapt, and keep going. Every challenge you face is either an excuse to quit or an opportunity to grow. The choice is yours. Winners choose growth. At this point, we've covered 7 powerful attitudes that set high achievers apart from 97% of people. But remember, mindset alone isn't enough. You need to apply these principles consistently in your life. If you take full ownership, develop self-discipline, embrace failure, and push beyond your comfort zone, you'll unlock a level of success that most people never reach. Success isn't built on luck. It's built on mindset and action. Let's quickly recap the 7 powerful attitudes that separate high achievers from the rest. Extreme ownership, where you take full responsibility for your life. Relentless optimism, where you see opportunities instead of obstacles. Unshakable self-discipline, where you do the work even when you don't feel like it. The ability to delay gratification, where you prioritize long-term success over short-term comfort. A growth mindset, where you believe in constant improvement. Taking calculated risks, where you step outside your comfort zone with strategy, not fear. And finally, resilience and adaptability, where you bounce back stronger from every setback. Master these, and success becomes inevitable. Here's the truth. Most people won't apply these principles. They'll watch this, feel inspired for a moment, and then go back to their old habits. But if you commit to applying even just 1 or 2 of these attitudes, you'll put yourself ahead of 97% of people. Your mindset determines your future, and the best part? You have full control over it. So, I want to know, which of these attitudes do you need to work on the most? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. If you got value from this, hit that like button and subscribe for more game-changing insights. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And remember, your success is in your hands. Now go out there and make it happen.